Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It is that time of the week when I do my Survivor recap. So to recap on this week's episode, let's start off with the Beauty Tribe. So last week we saw Ty get a clue for the hidden immunity idol, but he couldn't get it because it was up in a tree and you saw him getting cuts all over his feet and chest. Well, this week you see him successfully get the idol. So congratulations, Ty, on getting that hidden immunity idol. It is apparently not a very easy thing to do this season. And apparently there was a tool to get the idol too, so he actually made his own and got it himself. So great job, Ty. All that hard work really did pay off for you. And you also saw in the Beauty Tribe that they had to kill one of the chickens, and Ty, as you've seen, is an animal lover. I mean, he's just a very passionate person, and Caleb, I guess, killed the chicken. You saw Ty crying, and it was kind of, I got teary-eyed too, because it was just to see him cry over a chicken. You see how passionate he is about other living things. And what I found most interesting is that the girls and Nick said that they felt bad for him. They don't like to see people cry. I'm like, well, if he felt bad for him, why didn't you go up and you say something? I mean, you didn't have to hug him if you didn't want to, but just go up and say something to him. And what I also took notice to on the Beauty Tribe is that I think Nick is going to be this season's villain. He seems like he's not a very emotional person. He just seems very cold-hearted to me. And actually, the Beauty Tribe pulled it off in the Extreme Immunity Challenge, and they won the challenge. So congrats to you guys for again winning immunity. And I believe they had the option to choose between comfort items or emotional items, which I've never seen them have that as a reward before. So this was a Survivor first, but they chose to take comfort items. Now, to go on with the whole idol thing, let's move on to Team Toe Tang. Team Toe Tang, aka the Brawn Tribe, as you know, has been on a losing streak thanks to Princess Lazy. And you once again see them regret voting Jenny off like they regretted voting Darnell off. And I kept thinking to myself, if you regret your decision, then do something about it. And sure enough, Princess Lazy thinks that Sydney is with her, but it's actually a way for Sydney to gain Alicia's trust, so she keeps it to her advantage. And she was loyal to Jason and Scott. She told them about it and everything. But when Sydney and Alicia go for a walk, you see Alicia just goes like, oh, look, I found the clue. And I'm like, oh, great, that's the last thing we want to happen is Alicia to find the idol. So Alicia goes off and Sydney starts digging. And I'm like, oh my god, she better find this thing. And sure enough, Alicia comes back and Sydney goes and again is very loyal. You see how loyal she is, and tells Scott and Jason about it. So they go off running, and Jason, I believe, grabs the box and he runs with it and takes off like he was like a cheetah running off. And him and Scott actually find the idol up in the tree like Ty did, but they lost the tool, so they didn't have a tool like Ty. So they used Scott to the advantage, him being an NBA player, he was able to get it off. But the tricky thing is that it could have fell anywhere, and of course Alicia was standing right there. So I'm like, oh please, Jason, grab it, because I don't think it was possible for Scott to, because he was trying to get it out. But they're in a tight alliance, so I think it'll be used for their alliance. But Jason was able to grab it right before Alicia could, so congratulations, Jason, on finding the immunity idol. I knew I was Team Jason. And what I want to point out is what is interesting about the idols this season compared to seasons before is that you can actually combine your idol and make it into a super idol, and they could be read after the votes have been revealed. Like you can reveal your idol before the votes are cast. Well, this one you can reveal after, you can play after the votes are cast. But the tricky thing is that with the one idol, you combine it together with somebody, but one person's going to lose their chance at immunity then. So let's just say if Jason and Scott found an immunity idol each and they combine it, only Scott or Jason can use it. So if Jason decides to use it, then Scott doesn't get to. And it was very close in the immunity challenge again. I thought Team Toe Tang was going to be on another losing streak, but they pulled it together and it was very close, like literally 3 seconds, and they won. So they got to bring their emotional items back to camp. So congratulations, Team Toe Tang, you're not on that losing streak anymore. Now the Brains Tribe. The Brains Tribe seemed very interesting to me. Peter and Liz seem to be trying to dominate the camp. Peter seems very self-righteous and self-centered, where Liz, as Debbie described, is kind of a prima donna. And they were trying to target Neil because they thought he would be a threat going on. But Debbie, who has her head in the game, saw this as an opportunity to get the prima donna off. Or Aubrey was noticing how Peter's self-righteous and kind of cocky, so she wanted to vote him off. And what they're originally going to do was split the votes between Aubrey and Neil in case Neil had a hidden immunity idol. That was their plan going in case they lost. And sure enough, the Brains Tribe had their first trip to Tribal Council, and it was intense. It usually is a Tribal Council. And before that, you see Debbie talking to Aubrey, Joe, and Neil about trying to get one of them off because they're going to be a threat going forward. And I agree with them. I think if they let Peter and his strategic mind go forward, that could mean trouble for them in the long run. And Liz, I feel like with the 3 girls in the Beauty Tribe being so tight as they are, I feel like Liz and Alicia could flip, and then that alliance could be a group of 5 girls and they could dominate. I believe even the Beauty Tribe tried to pitch Caleb to side with them, and I'm like, Caleb, if you have any brains, you need to get the girls' alliance, you need to split them up now while you can, or else it's going to mean trouble for you in the long run. But anyway, at Tribal Council, it's the usual stuff, and you've really got to see Peter's true colors, how he just seems so full of himself. I'm just going to say that. He seems very full of himself, and it actually came down to a tie. The 2 votes went to Aubrey, then 2 votes went to Liz and Peter, and I thought it was great that they split the votes between them because Aubrey, Peter, and Liz couldn't vote, and now they can only vote for Liz. So the only people left that were voting for either Peter or Liz, so either one of them were going to go home. And sure enough, Liz was voted off. And as much as I think that Peter is self-righteous, I do think they made the right decision to vote Liz off, because like I said, she could join that all-girl alliance, and it's trouble for everybody then. So I gotta give, like, players of the game tonight, Ty, Jason, and Debbie, I really think are the players of the week this week. They are playing an awesome game, and they definitely have their heads in the game, so congrats, you guys. If you want to tune into Survivor and you're a fan like me, or you're just starting out, if you want to watch Survivor, it's on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on CBS. I hope you enjoyed this awesome Survivor recap, and until next time, stay regal.